This Camels project is a really cool thing. It is an application of machine learning to cosmology. So what they've done is they've run a whole bunch of different simulations of galaxy formation and galaxy evolution and how this initial universe that is very homogeneous, it doesn't have very large density fluctuations, can evolve into a universe that has galaxies, planets, people, although they wouldn't be simulating at the level of planets and people. So they do a bunch of simulations and then they calibrate a machine learning algorithm on these simulations to be able to predict, given certain fundamental parameters. So all of these simulations they've run have slightly different fundamental parameters, slightly different amounts of dark matter, slightly different amounts of dark energy, slightly different sizes of initial fluctuations in the density of the universe, slightly different expansion rates. And then they use this machine learning algorithm to look at aspects of what the final universe looks like and predict what these fundamental parameters were. And so for their training data, of course, they know what the fundamental parameters were because they ran the simulations. But then what they're able to do is this algorithm is able to then be given the final result of a simulation. So something like a map of galaxies on the sky and say, okay, based on the training data and my training of my machine learning algorithm, I can now predict that the fundamental parameters were so and so. And that's useful for a couple of reasons, although it's a slightly dangerous thing. One reason is that it allows you to explore this parameter space of fundamental parameters without necessarily having to run lots and lots and lots of simulations. You might run a simulation with 20% of the total density of the universe in dark matter, and then another one at 25%. But if the actual universe had it at, say, 22%, you might have to then just keep running simulations more and more precise to get closer and closer to that value. But if you have a machine learning algorithm that can tell you what the universe would look like halfway between the two values you've simulated, you might not have to actually do the simulation. As I said, this is dangerous because there might be reasons why the interpolation the machine learning is doing is not correct in some subtle way you didn't understand. And if you do run a simulation, you understand what the simulation is doing. The whole point about machine learning is it's kind of doing something sneaky underneath the tin that you don't fully understand. If you did fully understand it, you wouldn't need machine learning. So one always has to be careful, but there's the hope that it might do that. The second thing I think that machine learning can do is it can find sources of information we might not have already been aware of. So in the same way that AlphaGo can play chess better than a human being and play some move, and then the grandmasters of the world will be like, why is that a good move? And then go away and analyze it and find out, it was a good move for the following reason. In some subtle way, I've undermined one of the pieces and will eventually be able to attack it. We might discover that some observable that we can look at in the universe that we thought wasn't that interesting, the machine learning algorithm has said, no, when this value is slightly bigger, I know that the dark matter density is slightly smaller. And we'll be like, whoa, okay, I don't know how you know that, but it seems to be some pattern in the universe. And then we can go and study that. So it's not telling us that in the real universe, some fundamental parameter has some different value to what we thought, but it is telling us some observable is really interesting. And so we can learn about fundamental physics that way.